series for life.
It was just 83 days ago that England, well, fell just short of double Rugby World Cup glory. New Zealand that day in Belfast with just a little too much for the Red Roses. But, well, sport has a habit of ensuring you move on from your losses as fast as you do your victories. And this evening at Allianz Park, well, it's the start of a new 4-year plan for England's women. Coach Simon Middleton at the helm, continuing to identify the talent that will sit alongside the more familiar names in 4 years' time. Canada, the opponents across this 3-match series then, which starts tonight at Allianz Park, the home of Saracens, who incidentally have 4 players featuring for England this evening. It's the first match in the Old Mutual Wealth series. We're delighted you've joined us. Let's all together enjoy the Red Roses' return.
I think there's a massive level of excitement, you know, one that probably I haven't felt in a long time. So many new faces and so much exciting talent, and training with some of these girls out there, I just can't wait to see them get out there and put on an England shirt.
and that's what makes the side a really good blend, is that we've got a mixture of the experienced players and the younger ones. They've got a bit of no fear, which we can learn a little bit from, and at the same time, you know, we can also support them in understanding, you know, building up to a big test match and everything like that, and, you know, just helping develop them along the way as well.
Come this way.
You know, Canada, we faced them numerous times. They're bringing a very unknown squad as well. No doubt they'll be very different to what we've probably experienced in the past.
We know that they bring a huge amount of physicality, so we've got to make sure that we're absolutely on our game in terms of that, but still sticking to our own processes and making sure, you know, we go out there with our own game plan.
So joining me to cast their analytical eye over this one, well, a couple of experts joining us in the cold evening air here in North London. They've got 115 caps between them. Emily Scarrett, Mo Hunt, good evening.
Good evening. Hello, Nick. Nice to see you.
Lovely to have you here. Does it feel a little bit like a new term, internationally speaking?
Yeah, it definitely does. You know, the girls just spoke there about all the new caps that we've got, you know, combined with all that experience. You know, Rocky Clark's earned her 130th cap tonight, which is just ridiculous. And some of the girls are out there, you know, 18 years of age, earning their first cap. So, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and Canada, as Katie Daly-McLean said there, Natasha, in that short video, there'll be a pretty unknown quality. 14 debutants in this side.
Yeah, 14 debutants that we literally know not a lot about, and 8 of those are coming off the bench, so the whole bench are going to be making their new caps as soon as they step onto the field. So it's just so exciting, especially for them, to see what these girls can bring. And you heard Rachel Burford talk about a no-fear element of the game, and I'm really expecting Canada to bring that tonight.
And England are another side, of course, who have plenty to look forward to in terms of new talent. They've got the likes of Hannah Botterman, Annie Kildunn, Shauna Brown, who's been tearing up the Premier 15s as well. So there's a fair amount of talent for England to look forward to in terms of new development.
Huge amount of talent. You know, I think Simon Middleton's spoken throughout the week that he's picked this team on form from the Tyrrell's Premiership, and you know, some of these girls earning their first cap have demonstrated that, you know, above and beyond. And I'm really excited to see some of these guys go. You know, they've earned their place here, and you know, I really hope that they can show what they've been showing week in, week out. Of
course, it wasn't too long ago that England took on Canada. It was June before the World Cup that England played them down in New Zealand. So if for any of you who missed that action, well, we can have a look back at that game now.
They're looking to slow that ball down. Ball available now. This is Emily Braun setting it in midfield. England have numbers out to the left if they need them. Good flat pass. Marley Packer with a carry, and then the offload to Abby Scott. Abby Scott's still going. Abby Scott close to the line. Is it over? Try. The referee's blown the whistle. It's a great try. Vicky Cornborough, Reid. Here's Jones. Good hands. That's Daniel Waterman, and this is on the right wing now. This is Lydia Thompson. Lydia Thompson into the corner. What a lovely try. Now, this is Laura Russell. Head down. Keep going. Only a metre out now, Canada. Forwards arriving. The pick and go. Must be close to the line now, Canada. The ball is there. Short. Referee on the spot. Great response, Canada. Great try. So Marley Packer. There's the ball available. Scatter the intercept ball now. This is Pacan. This is Pacan, who's been exceptional all day. She's too fast. She will take that right under the post. She's read that beautifully. What a try for Canada. A brilliant response on defence. She's been excellent on attack, and no more fitting player to score a try for Canada to take them into the lead. Ball's there. Mason, Scarrett, that's Waterman. Now this is Lydia Thompson, try scorer of the first half, gets away from 2 Canadian defenders. Thompson with some footwork. Thompson! Thompson's just too fast, and she's over. What a great try. To the second 5'8" position. Here's Riley, McLean. And backwards off red. Oh, let's play on it because it's off a Canadian. This is Scarrett. Scarrett with a wide ball. Number 23 for Kay Wilson. And Kay Wilson will run that in, and that's a try.
Going in at the corner, or we miss Kay Wilson. Danielle Waterman, in fact, the only member of that that back line that is performing here this evening. A 27 points to 20 win for England that day. Emily, you were part of it, kicking 7 points. What are your memories of it? How do you feel that Canada are coming on in that time?
Yeah, it was a really tough game. I remember, you know, they've always had fantastic athletes, and you know, that day was no different. We really had to work for that win, grind it out. I think we all came off the field a little bit kind of because it wasn't what we wanted. It wasn't picture perfect, but you know, that's what Canada always bring. They're always going to be tough, they're always going to be physical, and you know, I definitely expect that tonight. Yeah, well, putting in the physicality, making sure that everybody's up to speed, the new faces and the old faces, has been Simon Middleton, and we had a chance to catch up with him earlier at the week during training at Bisham Abbey.
Our priority is to win the series, and ideally to win the series 3-0. And we obviously want to get the young players involved. We want to start their journey. We want to start evolving them with a long-term plan in place, 2021. But the critical part is, at this point in time, we must keep winning. And we must keep the momentum going. Poppy Cleo's been the best number 8 in the Tyrrell's Premiership this year by a considerable way, I'd say. Her performances have been absolutely outstanding for Saracens, and she just gets on with the job. She's incredibly physical. She's a really good ball player. You know, Marley brings you a lot of that go forward and that real energy that we're looking for, and that confrontational aspect that we're looking for. And then to get Sarah in there as well, and she adds the balance to it. It gives us the real sort of, you know, the glue in all our performances as she is, and you know, I'm absolutely confident she'll be able to do that as well from 6. If you look across the players we've brought in, you look at the Abby Dowes and the Jess Breach and Ellie Kildoon and Lagi Turima, they can all catch, pass, they understand good running lines, and they can kick the ball really well, and that is unbelievably rare for a group of 4 young players coming into a setup at this particular stage in their career. It gives them a great platform. They've got great attributes, you know, they're there on merit, and the other thing is they've got pace. They've got blistering pace, and we'll be wanting to get them on the ball and let them demonstrate that, because again, that's one of those things you can't coach. And you know, and we've had pace in the past, but it's been you know, 1 or 2 players. We've got a raft of players now who we know if we can get into space are going to do some damage.
Looking at those players that will hopefully get the other players into space, KT, Daly McLean, Amber Reid and Rachel Burford, how important will their experience be? Absolutely critical.
You know, we've still got a nucleus of really experienced players, and players who are great decision makers, are great distributors, great tacticians of the game. And we know if we need to get the ball in certain areas,
That was awful. I'm sorry, who wrote these?
I bought 45 budgies the other day. I didn't want them all, but they were going cheap.
This is normal for you, isn't it? No one laughing at her jokes.
Is the top line the question? What's Jay-Z's favourite cheese? Brie wants.
Beyonce.
Oh, well, there's no little over the E. There's no little comma over the E.
It was incorrect punctuation.
Brie wants. I can't breathe. Oh, I knew that would get them.
What does a dinosaur use to pay bills? A Tyrannosaurus checks. Wow, your eyes are watering. A guy just threw milk at me. How dare I didn't even get to the joke.
I can't stop looking at her face. Like this.
I'm reading a book about anti-gravity. It's impossible to put down.
Oh, I want that one. Like I'd never read a book about anti-gravity. Like I'd read a book.
How would you make a tissue dance? Put a little boogie in it. How many tickles does it take? You're not even laughing at the joke.
What time does Sean Connery go to Wimbledon? 10ish. Firstly, I don't think I know who Sean Connery is. And secondly, I don't really get the tennis. But, oh God.
Well, thanks to O2 inside line. Danielle Waterman absolutely creasing up at that is possibly my favourite bit. Any highlights for you particularly?
I think it was when Marley said the book on anti-gravity. I was like, mate, I'm not sure there is a book on anti-gravity.
So debate here as to whether Marley got the joke at all. I mean, it's possibly a good time to ask whether you've got any dad jokes of your own, Mo. Anything for us?
I've got one, yeah. I didn't want to ruin the punchline.
Let's
it's all in the punchline.
Natasha Hunt's dad joke. Here you go.
Want to hear a joke about paper?
Go on.
Never mind, it's terrible.
Oh, terrible. You see?
Come on, that's good.
Emily Scarrett?
Why are librarians so strict?
So now, why are librarians so strict?
Because they have to go by the book.
Oh, very nice. Very good.
I give her that one.
I've got one for you.
Take credit.
How do you turn a duck into a soul singer?
Don't know.
Put it in the microwave until it's Bill Withers. Don't even know if you know who Bill Withers is. It's wasted.
It's a little bit
wasted. It's a really good joke, that. Bill Withers, lovely day? No? Anyway. Let's get back to the action about the game, shall we? Let's discuss that a little bit more. We saw some of the new faces in that video, the likes of Abigail Dow and Jess Breach, and these are the sort of players that are being really rewarded for the form that they've shown in the Tyrrell's Premier 15s, aren't they?
Yeah, massively. I think Jess Breach has scored an abundance of tries over the last few rounds. I think 8 rounds she's got 12 tries, top try scorer. Like an unbelievable outing. I know she's playing with the Harlequins team that are in great form, but equally Abby Dow on the other wing, I think she's got 8, second top try scorer, joint with Poppy Cleo. So they're just scoring for fun, these girls, and I think it'll be really exciting to see what they can do with the likes of Katie Daly-McLean, Amber Reid and Rachel Bertha, with the handling that they have, being able to put them into that space.
See how effortlessly we're saying Katie Daly-McLean here. You know, you've got to get the new name right here. She won't be happy. We've been strictly told, haven't we? And the likes of Ellie Kildun as well. I know, Emily, that she's a player you're working with. She's a player people are telling you is like you. I don't know quite what that's like.
Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for her, bless her. Yeah, she's an amazingly exciting prospect. She's been going really well for Hartbury Gloucester, and yeah, she's got all the skills. She can, you know, catch, pass, great feet, acceleration, pace to burn. She can kick the ball. You know, she's really exciting, and she only turned 18 about 2 months ago. So you know, she's got a huge future ahead of her.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're getting ever closer to kick-off, so now we can actually hear from the coaches just a short time ago as they're going through their motions, getting the team ready and seeing how they're feeling, starting with England's Simon Middleton.
Simon, start of a new season, start of this 3-test series against Canada. What do you want to see from the Red Roses tonight?
Well, I think the thing we talked about at the just before we left the hotel, the final bits were about meeting the expectation that I think's on us and that we've placed on ourselves, which is to obviously perform well, but first and foremost to make sure we win and win as well as we can do. And the other thing is just to make sure that the girls, you know, take their opportunities that's in front of them, whether it's one of the 7 debutants we've got or Rocky Clark coming on and playing a 130th game. You know, it's the same for everyone. It's about taking the opportunity that's in front of you and creating competition for places.
How confrontational do you want your pack to be tonight?
Yeah, it's something we talked about coming into this game, something we talked about as a product of the World Cup. So yeah, we're looking for some edge in our performance. Obviously, you know, a controlled edge, because we don't want to be giving soft penalties away, conceding field position, etc. So it's about being calculated and clinical, but having a real computational edge about us, and that's not just a pack. That's right across the board. You know, we've put some work in our defence. We've looked at some specifics we want to do, because that's where you can get some confrontation into your game, and that's what we're going to be looking to see. Yeah.
7 uncapped players tonight, but despite that, you still average 36 caps a player. How much will experience tell?
Yeah, it's amazing. We did the shirts last night, and to see, you know, after coming out of the World Cup, and so the least cap player was like 30 or 40, to see seven with picking the first shirt up was great. But yeah, the experience will be absolutely key. You know, and the experienced players know what's expected of them. Yes, like I've said there, in competition they need to take their opportunities to keep the shirts, but you know, as part of a team we expect them to pull the young girls along as well, and so yeah, it'll be a combination of that experience and that youth, and you know, hopefully together we can build the sort of team and move the team forward like we want to do.
Thanks, Simon. Good luck.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Sandro, welcome to North London. 14 uncapped players in your 23 tonight. How much is this a step into the unknown?
I mean, it's exciting, right? It's the first game of a 4-year cycle. We have a lot of young players that have come through the pathway, and we're excited to see what they can do.
How crucial will a fast start be tonight for your team?
I think it's about being relaxed and understanding that it's a long game. It's 80 minutes, so we'll break it up in the first 20 and see if we can control that, see where it takes us from there.
How important tonight will your 8, 9 and 10 be?
I think it's important. I think we've got a really strong 8, 9, 10 connection. We'll try to use the width of the field and try to take advantage of opportunities when they're there.
Is that where you think you can exploit England out wide?
I think England's a really strong team right across the board. It'll take some time for us to figure out where the holes are. So we'll be patient and we'll take the opportunities where they give them.
Thanks, Andrew. Good luck.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
It'll be interesting to see how patient Sandro Fiorino and his Canada side can be. England then field a matchday 23 that features 7 uncapped players, as we've been saying, 2 featuring in the starting lineups. On the wings, Abby Dow and Jess Breach. Selection absolutely backing those performances from the Tyrrell's Premier 15s, with the experience of Danielle Waterman at fullback earning her 75th cap. More familiar centre partnership of Amber Reid and Rachel Burford firms up the midfield, while at half-back Leanne Riley partners Katie Daly-McLean. And in the forwards, Amy Cookane. It's her 33rd consecutive test, and then Rowena Burnfield coming back to the second row to play her first game since 2015, which happened to also be against Canada. At the back row, well, that's Sarah Hunter at 6, Marley Packer at 7 and Poppy Cleal at number 8, scorer of 9 tries so far this season. So let's have a look at the Canada team then. Interim coach Sandro Fiorino has 6 debutants in the starting 15, with the experience coming in the shape of 40-cap captain Laura Russell in the front row and Tyson Bukaboom in the second row. Emily Belchos will be a more well-known figure in the midfield, but there are a lot of unknown quantities for England, as we've said, to get to know this evening. Jess Nielsen at fly halves making her first start, working alongside Brianna Miller, the Quebec-based scrum half, who made her debut against England last year. On the benches, well, it'll be cap 130 for 36-year-old Rocky Clark, 110 for Tamara Taylor, contrasted with Ellie Kildunn, who will be England's 4th youngest ever player to debut if she makes it on. Canada's bench, a complete raft of uncapped players. Ex-hockey player Ronnie Hannigan, lacrosse player Jana Slavinsky, and Courtney Holtkamp at 18 years, the youngest of their camp as well. Ruckley is down pitch side, making sure the fans get in full voice. We are a few minutes away from kick-off, and well, Mo, with your involvement with the forwards, driving them on as you do, cracking the whip at the back of the scrum as in your scrum half role, what particular matchups are you looking forward to today?
I think firstly I'm really looking forward to seeing Rowena Burnfield back in an England shirt. She's had a lengthy time off with concussion and struggled with that, so it's great to see her back in the white shirt. But for me, the head-to-head, I think you mentioned it, 33 consecutive games for Amy Cockayne against Laura Russell on her 40th cap, and now captain in the side. So I think they're both really experienced players. They're both great ball carriers, really give the team go forward. So I think that head-to-head is going to be hugely important today.
And also, just to touch on the forwards, there's the Poppy Cleal, Sarah Hunter sort of, you know, a debate over the number 8 role. I understand that they were sort of pitted against each other, knowing that early in the season in that Premier 15s game it was going to be about who might come out on top when Saracens played Loughborough Lightning. Poppy's having a great season. She gets the number 8 shirt, and Sarah Hunter's got to show how valuable she is. Still at number 6, but still with work to do. Yeah, there's no doubt how talented both of those players are, but you know, fair play to the coaches. Sometimes you've got to pick on form, and there's absolutely no doubt that Poppy's been going really, really well. She showed some amazing handling ability, which, you know, is going to be key tonight if we want to release those outside backs. Yeah, fantastic for her, and you know, you've got to have someone like Sarah Hunter in your side, does all the stuff at the breakdown that nobody quite sees, but you know, has to get done. So yeah, looking forward to seeing both of those go. Yeah, and what about the backs, Emily? You've been casting your eye over them. What sort of head-to-heads can we look forward to there? Yeah, for me it's all about the midfield. Can Katie Daly-McLean, Rachel Burford, Amber Reid, can they release those outside backs? You know, we've said how much pace there is, and similarly on the other side, Emily Belchos, one of the most experienced Canadian players in that back line, can she release all the pace that she's got outside her? Lots of sevens experience in that back three. So for me it's about who can release the wheels on the edge and preserve the space for those guys. Crowd gathering nicely here at Allianz Park, the home of Saracens here, of course, in North London. If you're just joining us, you're very welcome to our live streaming coverage. My name's Nick Heath, alongside the excellent Emily Scarrett and the wonderful Mo Hunt. And just to mention as well, of course, some of you might be wondering where the names like Kelly Russell, Magali Harvey are with the Canadian team. Of course, there are some players in the Sevens programme. They do split their programme similar to how England tend to do it. But they also have players that simply have been a big part of things up to that World Cup schedule. And I understand, talking to some of the sort of physio team, some of these senior players have said that that might be a November series that we don't necessarily need to get stuck in with, and we'll be back in the new year. And I guess getting that rest time and player welfare is at the top of a lot of people's agenda now, as we pay more and more attention to what players can actually put up with in the course of a year. Yeah,
it's absolutely huge. You know, we saw Kelly Russell represented for the Barbarians a couple of weeks ago, which is, you know, that's fantastic for her, getting that international experience, you know, overseas, playing alongside lots of people that she's used to playing against rather than with. So that's awesome. And players like Mandy Marchak, who at the moment is out at the Rugby League World Cup, you know, that's fantastic for her to show her physical capabilities in a slightly different version of the game.
So the teams coming out then into their positions. They will frame themselves up nicely for the fans on the far side. Officials just getting themselves into position as well. You can keep in touch with us on social media. Leave the comments on the Facebook page, or you can tweet us using the hashtag #RedRoses. And of course, this game is hashtag ENGVCAN. It's a big weekend for rugby for England, with Australia for the men tomorrow. But now we have the anthems starting with Canada. As patriotic as ever, singing away. And England's Red Roses get into the final huddle, as do Canada. They played Canada a total of 25 times, England, winning 21 times. That includes the 2014 Women's Rugby World Cup final that, well, two players alongside me played a pretty critical role in. The two sides met most recently in that game in Christchurch, New Zealand, where England had that 27 points to 20 win. Our referee is Alejandra Nieves, rising up the ranks, working our way into the men's game as well, and why not? Great to see great refereeing rewarded. Joy Neville, of course, another one of the female referees who's doing incredibly well, assisted by Tim Baker and Amy Barrett-Theron. And we're almost ready to go. What sort of game are you expecting from England here, Emily?
I'm expecting, you know, probably a classic English game, you know, dominate up front, set a target, you know, and then give the back some decent ball to play with. As we've already mentioned, we've got some fantastic pace out wide, and, you know, it would be unjust for them if we didn't get them good enough ball in good enough space. So I really hope that we're able to manufacture that, but I wouldn't be surprised if actually early doors the forwards are taking it on, they're trying to get meters, and we're playing that kind of a game.
You don't see that too often, do you? The teams have done the toss and then suddenly changed ends. So they weren't too happy with where they were to begin with, but now Jess Nielsen is ready to get things started. Referee will get us underway. The first match of the Old Mutual Wealth Series 2017, the 3-match series against Canada. And the first job was for Amber Reid just to take it up. Rachel Burford then does similar. Katie Daly-McLean then looks for an exit, goes up for Nielsen. Nearly a little bit of miscommunication with Anais Holly at the back, but she's done well and made 15 metres forwards. It's away from Brianna Miller. They've managed to hold it in. Coming round to the right come Canada again. Good possession from the Canadians in these opening couple of minutes. Off to the left again, Miller. Good solid service from the scrum half. It's a chilly old night, she's got the leggings on. It was good defence from England there, straight up into the tackle. I think it was Burnfield who made the hit on that occasion. Canada going backwards at the minute as the white defensive wall comes across, but there could be a cute little chip through on the right-hand side for Nadia Popov. Ball's beaten everybody into touch in the end.
It's really smart play by Canada. You know, to be fair, England are getting off the line really well. They're showing, you know, what they want to kind of impose on Canada in terms of their defensive line, which is really pleasing to see. They probably just got themselves a fraction narrow. Canada able to move the ball out wide, and for me, I'd like to have seen that kept in the hands. You know, there's some serious pace on that wing, and you know, give her an early ball and see what they've got.
Yeah, the back three player talking. It's away from Riley. What can England create from their own half? That was back out the back door from Marley Packer, but it was just not forward. Just a little bit of inaccuracy there. Nothing too much to worry about as far as England are concerned. Just trying to find their shape in these opening few minutes.
Yeah, Marley Packer will be annoyed at that. That's the player she is. You know, she's always so up for every single game, and you know, she puts everything into everything that she does, and you know, she'll soon rectify that, knowing her.
Earning her 52nd cap. Of course, playing her rugby at Saracens now. She's got 8 tries in the Tyrrell's Premier 15s. Not too shabby at all, Marley Packer.
Up, please, up. Yeah. Just remember, closer, okay, and steady, please.
Sarah Hunter captaining the side from the number 6 shirt. Her 99th cap. All being well, she'll be looking to run out for 100th on Tuesday at the Stoop. Tickets available, englandrugby.com/tickets. Get down and support the girls in their second match of the series. Will they be taking the W into that one? It's a solid enough scrum from Canada. They dealt with the pressure. It was well picked up by Cindy Nels. Now it's back in field. And Canada with some decent go forward. That was nice from Galifo Amber. Now they come to the left. It was untidy. Bukaboom's going to have to do a bit of tidying up here after Miller couldn't quite get the service away. Now she feeds it to the right. Jess Nielsen gets it away to Belchos, who does what any good inside centre can do, and if needed puts the platform on. Tackle causes the spill. England might get some interesting turnover possession here. Burford spots it on the outside, and Daly-McLean keeps it in hand now. Running to the last line of defence, finds Abigail Dow. Is Dow going to look for the ball over the top? Keeps it in hand. Leanne Riley there. Good opportunistic counter-attack from England when the ball came their way, but Leanne Riley is slow to get that one, and she's allowed Canada to get right back over it. Perhaps guilty of just a bit of ball watching there, the Harlequin scrum half, as Canada make the most of it, but then it's just the error, and that's just gone forward a little bit.
Yeah, two great phases of play there. One, England turning the ball over and looking immediately to move it to the edge, move it to Abby Dow, give her the ball, give her some space, see what she can do. Made about 30-40 yards there, and then, you know, what a fantastic turnover that is by Canada. On the back foot, just conceded loads of ground, get the ball back, and yeah, they'll be disappointed we turned that one back over.
Crouch!
That was on for England. It's a decent position with this scrum. Pick at the back from Cleal. Just about manages to shrug off Brianna Miller. Now England come again. Daly McLean through Burford. Now they look for the long ball on the outside. Is it going to be an early chance to get into the corner? Oh, what a finish that is from Jess Breach. The first try of the game, and Breach does for country what she's been doing for club all season.
What a fantastic try. You know, Burford, Breach, they've been hooking up all season with Harlequins. That's exactly what Jess Breach wants. Ball out in front of her, space in front of her, give her a one-on-one. She's got the wheel, she's got the footwork. What a fantastic finish. First start for England, first try.
Well, it really was a first strike in the 22. And what a finish. She didn't have a lot of room there, did she?
She didn't have a lot of room, but she just backs herself, and that, as we say, that's what she has been doing all season. She's got that confidence, first cap or not. She wants to take the ball on. She knows where the try line is, and that's great to see confidence from a young player.
Anais Holly was physical enough in that defensive role in the Canadian fullback, but Jess Breach just showing that she's not only capable of running the fast lines, but also getting through the physical stuff to get over the line. And now Amber Reid given the kicking duties. Just fades down in front of the post. But England with the first try on the board and leading by 5 points to 0. Well, Canada will be wary that if they turn the ball over to England in those sorts of positions, they can strike like that. Nielsen over to the right. Cleal picks it up. Pass from Cleal wasn't the best. Goes to ground. Canada now with a chance to try and strike. It ended up going over heads and straight into the hands of Bukaboom, but that was probably the right option as England's defence shot up, certainly in the narrower channels. Brittany Cassill is waiting for it on the left. Phil Amber helps add a bit of muscle. Now it's away for Belchos. Just steps in off the left boot, tackled by Sarah Hunter. And Canada enjoying going round the corner here. They break again with Castle. Marley Packer forcing the turnover though. And you can hear Leanne Riley loudly through the referee's microphone there. That's our ball, communicating with the officials. Amy Cockayne then with the carry. Daly McLean through Reid. Reid floats the long one for Breach. Breach invited to come onto it again. Gets out of the first tackle, then tries to feed Waterman. There were a few Canadian hands in there. It wasn't easy for Danielle Waterman.
White ball.
Great ambition showed by the England side again. You know, turnover ball. Marley Packer does what Marley Packer does, you know, best, and turns the ball over at the breakdown. Again, England look to move it wide. They look to get it in Jess Breach's hand. She's just shown a couple of minutes earlier that she's got the measure of her opposite winger. So, you know, give her the ball, let her run, and it's great ambition to keep the ball alive. It's just one of those unlucky things that Danielle doesn't quite hold it.
Yeah, I think what's interesting from that as well is England had a really good setup both sides of the field. They could have gone either way. They had an overlap and they've just made really well out of what they did have.
Burford with the carry. It's a low one for Daly McLean. Almost wiser to let that one go. Abby Dow is the one who tidies it up on the near side. Riley. Daly McLean. Poppy Cleal pirouetting through the tackle. Rowena Burnfield. Richmond's second row. Back in the team. Back in the game. This is Burford. She going to feed Breach again. Perhaps delayed a little too long. Had to try and get the pass away in the tackle.
It's unlucky, but what I love about that, when you've got someone like Amber Reid in your side who's played an awful lot of rugby at 10, they've split first receivers both sides of the ball. So Katie Daly-McLean was on the right, she's got a pack of forwards with her. Amber Reid's on the left, she's got a pack of forwards with her. Runners, Amy Cockayne offering herself, and it, you know, split options for England.
It's fair contest.
Riley, Daly-McLean, Marley Packer coming straight through the middle. Last line of defence. Eventually Packer is put down, she's not held. Oh well.
You must release. Tackle complete. You have to release first.
Referee says the tackle was complete and she's got to release. Many scenarios you see in the game these days where players are allowed to get straight back up to their feet.
Yeah, it's a tough one, that, isn't it? But what a break from Marley Packer. We've just seen her ability at the breakdown to turn the ball over, and that's the other huge part of her game is running with the ball through massive holes.
Well, an accuracy from Canada. And they're coming round the corner again. They've got to be disciplined down here now, Canada, in order to get the exit. But England might have turnover ball again. Daly-McLean in there. They come on the crash ball. Abby Scott is at first receiver that time. They're a mix of backs and forwards in all sorts of positions at the minute, England, but that won't worry them too much. Cleal goes for the pick and go. Well supported by Burnfield. Now it's there. They come round the corner again, but was that a little bit of accidental obstruction there, just stopping Canada getting to the defence. And you can see what England are trying to do. It's just not quite happening just yet.
It's not quite happening, but I think Danielle Waterman was absolutely screaming for the ball there, because I think she had about 4 or 5 players outside of her, and the Canadians only had about 2 or 3 in defence. So, you know, England obviously looking to keep it tight in that 22, pick and go, keep going around the corner, you know, keep hold of possession in that red zone. But yeah, if there's an opportunity like that, I'd love to see them taking them.
England put the pressure on Canada, but they do well. Nels has dealt with that brilliantly. Brianna Miller then fires it down the left. They don't seem too keen on a kicking game at the minute, Canada. They go to the right again. Oh, little short passes now. England trying to drive them back. You can see Riley suddenly stepping into that defensive position. Now they attempt the clearance. Burnfield really nicely taken by the second row, and then Waterman flies it out to Breach. Breach looking on the outside. This time it's Breach to Burford. Burford goes to ground. Really good turnover position from Canada, and they do get themselves the penalty. That was the work of Belchos, all the experience in the midfield, and got herself in a really solid position to effect that turnover. And Jess Breach, Rachel Burford just a little isolated in the end.
Yeah, Canada getting some really good rewards from attacking the breakdown, potentially when England have gone wide and they are a few numbers light, getting some really good rewards from that. But yeah, Canada traditionally don't kick the ball an awful lot, and we saw there when they did decide to kick the ball, it didn't go a huge amount of distance. So whether they will look to continue to do that or whether they will look to run the ball out, the way the England wingers were set up, it perhaps suggested they were expecting them to run it out as well.
Advantage not gone.
Ball's been knocked on by Canada at the line out. We'll come now for the scrum. Enjoyed watching that replay of Breach feeding Burford, because obviously Rachel Burford put her in for the first try, and Jess Breach probably thought, well, I better give you as good a ball as you gave me there.
Yeah, exactly. I think Rachel Burford chose the in-line rather than perhaps the outline that Jess Breach would have taken. But
you could say that's age versus experience.
Exactly that.
I wouldn't say that, of course. Canada get a good shove on. It's fully rotated, but the ref happy that the ball is out. Cleal tries to tidy up. Big fend from Packer. She's going all the way, taking the entire Canadian pack with her. And now it's Cockayne. Big hit from Cockayne through the middle. England come again. Ball a little wider. Burford is going to have to tidy it up and reset. Straight up the middle. England with 3 options to the right. But it's turnover. Emma Jada done brilliantly. Seeing a few turnovers in this game from either side certainly keeps it interesting. Cassill with the carry. The attempted box kick from Brianna Miller is not something that she'll want to watch back, but Little untidy from Canada, but they've still managed to maintain possession. Oh, decent play running around the side, but it has just been knocked on. You get the sense, though, that Canada, on one of these moments, even if it's perhaps not as constructed as we're seeing from England, might just find one of their pace players in a position to strike.
Yeah, 100%. I think, you know, it's quite evident that both teams have come here to play, which is, you know, fantastic for us watching this game. I think both sides will want to tighten up a little bit in terms of continuity and keeping hold of that ball, whether it be, you know, knock-ons or turnovers at breakdowns. I think both sides will be a bit disappointed with how many balls they've lost.
Riley. Big shove from Canada. They're getting some real interest in that scrum now. The team in red. England dealing with it when it breaks down a little quicker, but that area of set piece is certainly something to watch. England have it again. What will the Canadian defence do here? There's a little bit of a gap round this right side if England could choose to use it. Another little carry from Marley Packer there, trying to suck in those Canadian defenders. Now then, McLean, they look for the crossfield kick. Abigail Dow is after this. Oh, just gone through the hands. Referee says enough about that going forward.
No corner, no advantage. Red ball.
But I think, well, Natasha, I hope you've got something for us.
Yeah, I have indeed. So here you see the scrum. Poppy Cleal does really well off the back of this. So if we can just speed this up a little bit, let it play. As Poppy carries in here, if you just pause it now, she has drawn in Belchos here, obviously at 12, so then you're really impacting the defenders outside. Also 13, Jada I think it is looking in at the ball, so then as we play it on through, they're really shuffling out, so you can see the Canadian defenders shuffling out, which is why England have the ascendancy, so it's brilliant play from the number 8.
Thank you, Mo. Good to have your insight. As Canada come away from the scrum, setting up the platform through Belchos. Beekaboom. Good hands on the deck.
5 wide, offside.
Penalty Canada.
Please. Step, okay? Offside, 5 wide.
England will be disappointed with that when they've got Canada in an area like their own 22. They've already shown that perhaps their kicking game isn't the strongest. They want to really turn the screw in that area, stay clean, not concede penalties, and you know, and try and turn that ball back over in a really promising position.
Laura Russell plays her rugby with the Toronto Nomads. Maria Burnfield's gone early on that one.
And don't close before the ball. It's clear?
Referee Nievas just wants to ensure the gap is there. Burnfield gets the tap down for England. But the tidy up is by Emily Nicol from Canada. Fuamba making her debut. One of plenty in this Canadian side. Emily Belchos making the run there. Option might have been wider outside. Emily Scarrett gesticulates to me in commentary. That's the line she'd have been running. Canada go the same way, but they've knocked it on. And can England make the most of it through breach? Just goes into touch.
Knock on first. Red is white ball.
England will have the scrum.
No advantage.
It's really great defensive line speed from England. Where Canada were tackled there was a good 10-15 metres behind where they originally started, which, you know, I think definitely something England have been working on. So it's great to see that paying dividends for them. As you say, Rachel Burford's there, and Jess Breach are the last 2 players, and the Canadians have got at least 2 more outside it. So they've got to look at how they can manufacture a ball out the back to get into that space.
England break with Cleal down the short side. Quite happy to take Brianna Miller all the way with her if she needs to. No scrum half to begin with, but Riley steps back. Daly McLean, Marley Packer, left-hand Fenn, Packer still going, frees the arms to get the offload away. Reid with the dummy. Oh, sorry, Burford. What a try. Lovely from Rachel Burford. It was made by Packer. Sensational from England. It's try number 2.
It's great stuff from England. Again, we're seeing the very, very best of Marley Packer. She's a fantastic ball carrier. Just interestingly, going back to the original scrum stuff, Poppy is doing amazingly well at the back of the scrum. She's used to playing her club rugby behind a Saracens pack that is going forward, picking off the base, you know, running at defenders that are backpedaling. So for her, actually on the to be receiving ball on the flip side of that, where she's having to get in the scrum, dig for it, it's great stuff from her. And then, you know, what fantastic hands that is at the end.
I think you just mentioned made by Marley Packer, but I'd argue that that was as much Amber Reid's try. The timing of her pass then is absolutely phenomenal. That little pull back to Rachel Burford, that partnership is really going well so far.
That's why I nearly called it Amber Reid's try. That's what I'll say there. Off Burford on the outside with the lovely sell. And Reid will take 2 points for her involvement. England get themselves up to 12 points to 0 with 20 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, as we look at this again, just the sleight of hands of Amber Reid and also the timing of Rachel Burford to come out of the shadows. She's so good. She's done me so many times with that show and go as well in training, and she's just brilliant at actually having movement on the ball as she's running with it, and just by the tiny little faintest of movements on the ball it can sell defenders, and it's something that she's fantastic at and has really brought to her game.
Little pump, isn't it? Just that little pump to interest the defence. And to be fair, Anais Holly had an awful lot of work to do to try and cover the 3 white shirts that were ready to finish off that try. England will be a little bit more relaxed, and Marley Packer then on the short line, striding through again. Packer still going. She makes 50 metres. Riley, good front football for England. Canada might be narrow here again. Now Reid flings it wide. Superb hands from Waterman, and now Breach to scurry into the corner. No one will stop Jess Breach. England get try number 3 and 2 in 2 minutes.
That's just awesome. It's awesome rugby to watch. It is absolutely awesome rugby to watch. Again, we'll come back to Marley Packer. She's the one that initially makes the bust, but then I don't know who the guys are, but the people who are hitting that breakdown clear it so quickly, so effectively. The ball is gone. Canadians are still retreating. Katie Daly-McLean to the line. Amber Reid moving the ball. What I love there is they know where the space is. They don't need to travel with the ball. They just pass it. They get it to Jess Breach. Same with Danielle Waterman. She knows what wheels are outside her. And for Jess Breach, that's a relative run-in.
You want the ball out in front of you, and that couldn't have been more in front of Danielle Waterman, but she just about got it, didn't she?
She did really well to keep hold of that. I think Heather Kerr was the initial breakdown. I think she might have been glad that Marley Packer didn't pick her out, because 22 metres with a run in, I know she's quick, but she might have been struggling to make that one.
Amber Reid, similar position to the first try. Right on the edge of her range from that sort of position. England ticking over very nicely now as far as they're concerned. 10 minutes of feeling each other out, get 1 score on the board, but well, 2 in 2 minutes has worked out very nicely. England 17, Canada 0. Canada struggling to get field position in England's half. Reid takes the restart, then feeds Cleal. Riley. That one was just on the shoulder of Daly-McLean. A little bit of work to do to reset and get it away. Burford fires the long ball. We've seen it going from right to left a few times. Abby Dow will be wondering when it's her chance to have a go down the right flank. Got 1 carry there. Burnfield looking really fresh, Rowena Burnfield, isn't she? Reid, Abby Scott. See the forwards popping up in the back line, equally able to handle and distribute, but Canada get the turnover. If they got a turnover off Marley Packer there, then I'm calling the papers, because you don't see that every day. Poppy Cleal trying to ruck through and put plenty of pressure on Canada with possession, but Brianna Miller has got enough of a platform. Away to the right. Now they come out the back from Cindy Nels, from Belleville Bulldogs. Kick downfield. Riley takes it. Bit of work to find Waterman. Fend from Danielle Waterman. Earning her 75th cap today. The Wasps fullback. Daly McLean looks for the crossfield kick. Coming in field, Paige Farries is able to deal with it well. It was just a little too deep from Daly McLean for the runners to do anything with it, and that's really nice running from Paige Farries. This is a brilliant break from Canada. Farries showing the pace that she's got on her debut. Now Canada try and flood the short channel down on the right side, but it might just have gone forwards. Disappointment for the Maple Leafs, but what a run from Farries.
What a run from Farries. I think it's really frustrating from Canada, isn't it? They make such a great break. She keeps her legs going, takes on, you know, numerous England defenders. Danielle Waterman, as she always does great as that last defender. And then, you know, it's just about keeping the ball. They've got to turn some phases over against this England side. See if they can keep their defence. See if they can keep their line speed going. So I'm sure Canada will be wanting to look after that ball a bit better.
Up. Okay. Yeah.
Steam rises from the pack. Sarah Hunter straight in to just have a little chat with the referee.
Yeah. Crouch!
Canada certainly haven't looked overawed at scrum time. They'll be trying to use this as a weapon to shove England back, and that's exactly what they do. Poppy Cleal is able to control it and gather it. But Sandro Fiorino, well, at half-time, will surely be telling his team that that is a real area of strength that they've got to keep using. Try and deny England go forward out the scrum. Katie Daly McLean wide now to Burford. They're happy to run it. It's just come forward in a tackle off Farries. Referee happy enough it's just a knock on and nothing more. Amber Reid then is called on to take it up. Riley with the little chip through. Happy enough with the touch finder, just to relieve a bit of the pressure.
Yeah, just a little bit of insight here. As you see, they collect the ball. If you look at the 9, I can't remember where she is, just here. If you pause it, go back a sec. She runs at her players that are holding in the line with the English girls. So it makes it really difficult for any of the English players to pick up that runner and make the tackle. Brilliant play.
Canada coming forwards. Front football for the visitors. Come round the corner again. Fuamba doing a decent amount of the tackling. The Town of Mount Royal club player. Part of the Maple Leaf Tour in 2016. Options were wider there for Canada, but the English defence was just up enough, and they get turnover. Amy Cockayne is going to feed Daly McLean. Daly McLean comes in and then out. Jess Breach was stopped in her tracks on that occasion and moved into touch. They found a way of neutralising her that time. Yeah, that's a great tackle, to be fair. You know, Jess Breach has had a lot of success down that edge so far this game, so to neutralise her like that is a great option. Natasha and I were pointing downfield. Obviously, from a turnover ball, the chances are the Canadians don't have a backfield in place, so potentially with Katie Daly McLean on the ball there, she perhaps could have nudged it through and given Jess Breach a foot race. England have it with Hunter. Burnfield driving the truck. Hunter with it at the back. Now it's away from Riley. Daly McLean. Burford was right on the line there. Just had to reach back to take it, but it was good front foot ball. Gain line ball. Packer bounces out of the tackle and finds Waterman. So good at her awareness as well as the physical stuff, Packer, and breaking through. She's always aware of whether to take it in or look for that ball. Riley. Daly McLean. Hunter again. Riley looking to the left. Comes to Burford. Now out the back, Daly McLean. Have they got more space on the left? It's Jess Breach. Is she going to be invited into the corner for a hat-trick?
I'll tell you what, a hat-trick on debut, it doesn't get much better than that, does it? Again, what a great finish, but what I love about that build-up play is Rachel Burford stood up at 10, she's got the forwards organised. Katie Daly-McLean is being told, get yourself around the back, we've got two fantastic handling options. Rachel Burford plays behind that forward pod, you just see it here. So Rachel Burford goes behind that forward pod. Katie McLean, one of the best passers in the game. Katie Daly-McLean, apologies. One of the best passers in the game. Again, give it to the wheels early, give it them in space, let them have a go, and Jess Breach has got 3 tries and saying thank you very much.
3 tries in 30 minutes as well. It's not bad on debut, is it? I think what's really important that the girls have identified that Jess Breach has the wheels on her opposite number. I know they're getting a little bit short, but actually she's burnt her for pace time and time again. So you just got to keep feeding her, give her a little bit of a chance, and she'll be running them in all day, I'm sure.
I hope Kay Wilson is watching on a beach somewhere.
Knowing Kay, she is.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic servant to the white shirt. But Harlequins have got a pocket rocket in Jess Breach, and she's stepping up for the Red Roses this evening. One thing's for sure, Amber Reid won't be thanking Jess Breach for where she's putting these tries down, will she?
Yeah, I've had a similar scenario with Kay Wilson in that Scotland game. She's having a whale of a time scoring 7 tries, but for a kicker, it certainly makes life a little bit more difficult.
She gave you a few stinkers, didn't she? Yeah.
Yeah, here's the try again. You just miss Katie McLean skipping round the back. I think Daly-McLean, apologies, she's running her fastest to get round there so that she can catch that pass from Rachel Burford. Brilliant bit of link play with those two.
Yeah, the apologies are coming. Katie Daly-McLean, very forthright this week at training. When we were down there, I want the full new name, please. Freshly married. So Daly-McLean it is. Packer comes forward. There is Daly-McLean. Rowena Burnfield takes a couple in and then gets the offload away. Seems a little slimmer, more mobile than the Rowena Burnfield of old. And now Danielle Waterman stepping through again. We saw a crackerjack try at Twickenham from Waterman last year. She's going to play 9 here while Riley's involved. 2 dummy runners through the middle. Burford, they're looking for Breach again. Cockayne auditioning to be the winger herself there, Amy Cockayne. 33rd consecutive test for the Red Roses. Daly-McLean nearly through herself. Alarm bells ringing for Canada. England so dangerous in this position as they have been all game. Amber Reid tries to step through the middle. Platform will be there. Riley goes back the other way. Daly-McLean seems confident that door's going to open any minute. Has she managed to get it away, and is the try down? Referee right on the mark. Rowena Burnfield unable to quite ground it. Excellent work from Emma Jada to stop her. But they'll have the 5-metre scrum.
Lovely little pass from Katie Daly-McLean. Nobody saw it was coming. Literally gut ball. That's what they used to teach us, didn't they? And unfortunate there, Rowena Burfield just couldn't get the ball down. Like you say, great Canadian defence.
It's great continuity as well by England. You know, we've seen them in the red zone, the blue zone, whatever we call it, in the Canadian 22, cough up a little bit of ball, have it turned over at the breakdown, knock-ons, etc. And there they're just going through the phases. They're building it. They're picking the right options. You know, fantastic offload. And Row Burnfield, I've been really, really impressed with her. She's carried well all game. I know 32 minutes in, but she's carried so well. She's had a steal at the line out. She's just doing exactly what you need your second row to be doing.
I think she's actually got 2 steals. Both line-outs she's taken against the head, and arguably she's coming across the line, but she's not getting penalised for it, and that's fantastic. That's what you expect your 7s to do, not your second rows to do. So fair play to her.
Well, in full agreement. Row Burnfield having an absolute stormer so far. Just got a momentary stoppage. Let us know what you're watching. Riley. Canada with real go forward. They get the penalty. And that penalty's been coming for a while. England have dealt with it most of the first half hour so far. Kick to the touchline, has not found it. Breach. Back into midfield. Packer opts to just take it on the lazy switch. Back to the far side. Riley. Cleel's waiting. Gets it. Daly McLean. Reed, the dummy runner. Waterman joining the line. Abigail Dow gets it back inside for Burford. Tackle made by Jada. Riley under pressure, but she's just knocked it forwards at the base there, and it'll be a scrum to the Canadians.
It's unlucky again. I think England will be frustrated in terms of the possession that they're losing in the Canadian 22. You know, it's such a great field position for them. We saw a minute ago them building phases, you know, working the Canadians over. Unlucky not to score a try, and then it's just a little bit cheap, isn't it? But they'll be looking to rectify it for sure. I'm really impressed with Abby Dow down that wing. She's not getting as much space as we're seeing Jess get on the opposite wing, but she's fighting herself back into field. She's not coughing up the ball cheaply. She's not getting tackled into touch. Really impressed with her so far.
Miller. Early push from England. Message on hashtag Red Roses from Joe Bostock. Happy as a clam, sofa, wine, hound, and watching England Rugby Red Roses do the business. I'm jealous of the hound. That'll be keeping my feet warm. Nice little dog at the end here. Would be lovely. And the wine. Yeah. Let's not forget. Miller. Scrum holds well for Canada, and they come straight through the middle. It's a decent run. Now looking to try and go around. They've got a bit more room on the outside if they can get it to the speedsters, and Anais Holly then into the hands of Paige Farries. That's brilliant play from Canada. Spotted the line around the corner of the scrum, and here they come. Nels again. They need to maintain some accuracy. They're very narrow here though. That's gone backwards. Olivia de Merchant, her 30th cap for Canada, but they're going backwards now under the pressure of England defence. The numbers that they're having to put in there to secure this ball. They've only got 4 out in the wider channels currently. Jada now makes her way out to join them, but having broken up past the 10 metre towards the 22, Canada back on the halfway line now. And that's due to the strength of England's defence, but there's a penalty advantage being played now. Canada pick and go. It's slow and steady. Not rolling away is the call. They tap and go quickly. Down the right, Emma Jada steps and comes through. Miller, little shorter ball. Cindy Nels is having a good game and then manages to find Bukaboom. Bukaboom thunders into the 22. Laura Russell. Canada building nicely in the last couple of minutes. It's a pick around the corner from Galufo-Amba. 10 metres out now. Are Canada going to build to the first score of the match? Nels again. Really tough to stop. A metre short. Well, there's a counter ruck from England. But Canada still have it. Miller. They go round the left-hand side. The forwards would love to do the job, but they're well driven back by England on that occasion. Now Canada pick and go again. Miller asking the backs to do it. They've got a job to do to get it out. It's Belchos, not the easiest of balls, and it's gone behind Paige Farries. Farries has tried to keep it in field. Instead, it's gone forward, and Poppy Cleal will tidy it up. England now a little broken in play, and Burford will set up a platform. One of the Canadian players is down. Daly McLean, Abby Scott, Good run from Vicky Cornborough, and now Daly McLean wanting to try and isolate the last defender, and Abigail Dow to show what she's got in terms of a finish, cutting back in field. Dow to turn, just Nielsen inside out. Abigail Dow with England's 4th try. And from being capped on England's line, 1 error and England are punished, and that'll be making Simon Middleton happy at half-time.
That's what a side with some top quality players can do to you, unfortunately. Canada started off with some fantastic scrum dominance, broken field play, get themselves down into fantastic territory for them in the England 22, and then, you know, as I say, this is what a quality side can do to you. And great to see Abby Dow on the board in some space, showing what she can do. Decides to come back in field. She's got a bit of compassion for the kickers, trying to get as close to the post as she possibly can.
I think it shows how much confidence she's got in her own pace as well. To go on the arc back inside is really difficult to do, especially with a defender that's kind of got your corner flag, so fair play to her, brilliant finish. That'll give us some confidence going into the second half for sure.
Amber Reid makes it 2 from 5. England 29, Canada 0. You wonder how much he knew about Paige Farries coming across, as you'll see entering your picture from the right here.
I love that. It's intelligent play though. Paige Farries, you know, she's having to corner flag because of the distance that she's got to make up. She's turned her shoulders. She's only going one direction. Abby sees that. She cuts back inside. She probably hasn't seen the covering defender coming from the other side, but lucky for her, she's got the wheels to turn the other corner and keep going under the post.
So I think we're seeing the introduction, or are we, of Jana Slavinsky. We're just holding for a moment. Social media. Becky Beck saying, come on girls, keep it up, you're making us proud. Oh, that restart has not gone the full 10. It goes out on the far side. Lucy Baker, great evening, watching the Red Roses, red wine, bolognese and rugby. How could this be better? Well, you could have some for us, Lucy. Frankly, quite like the sound of that. Line out one by Canada, but it wasn't straight. And they've had to go not straight, really, because of the pressure that England's forwards have been putting on.
Yeah, again, Ro Burnfield at the front has been putting fantastic pressure on. About 20 minutes ago, Canada had a line out, and they just, the front prop turn, they hit her. I thought that was, you know, that's a smart line out. They'd lost the previous one. They just need to keep hold of the ball. They've got to build some phases. They've got to, you know, release these backs on the ball.
Well, England have decided through Hunter to go for their own line out, and look how much time they've got to organise it. Brilliant call. Amy Cockayne right with the arrows, and Abby Scott takes it down. Paige Farries defensively high that time to make sure she got player and ball with Danielle Waterman, and then it's quick hands away from Katie Daly-McLean, but it's gone forwards, and the referee says that will be that for the first half. Well, Gracie Matthews on social media says, I think Jess Breach has got jetpacks in her boots. Well, she's certainly the story of the first half. A hat-trick for Breach. Tries also from Rachel Burford and Abby Dow. The backs are singing, the forwards are giving them the platform. And at half-time, England have the lead comfortably at Allianz Park by 29 points to 0. Five first-half tries for the Red Roses then. Canada yet to get themselves on the score sheet, but they've certainly been contesting well, and they're looking fairly good at scrum time as well. So an interesting second 40 to come to see whether the Red Roses could push on. We'll have more analysis for you in a few moments, but you may have seen the video that's been doing the round, The Game of Our Lives, that's been produced by England Rugby. It's a brilliant film. We're going to show it to you now. It's about rugby from the grassroots to the top of the game, set to the poem Law of the Jungle by Rudyard Kipling. Let's check it out.
Now this is the law of the jungle. As old and as true as the sky. And the wolf that should keep it may prosper, but the wolf that should break it must die. Wash daily from nose tip to tail tip. Drink deeply, but never too deep. And remember the night is for hunting. And forget not, the day is for sleep. The jackal may follow the tiger, but cub, when thy whiskers are grown, remember the wolf is a hunter. Go forth and get food of thy own. Keep peace with the lords of the jungle, the tiger, the panther, the bear, and trouble not Hattie the silent, and mock not the boar in his lair. When pack meets with pack in the jungle, and neither will go from the trail, lie down till the leaders have spoken. It may be fair words shall prevail. As the creeper that girdles the tree trunk, the law runneth forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack.
England leading by 29 points to 0 there. Great film, that, isn't it? The game of our lives. Nearly said the days of our lives. Then that's I think that's what Joey from Friends is in, isn't it? Yeah, fantastic film. Congratulations to everyone involved with that. Certainly gets the hairs on the back of the neck up. England pretty well cruising here. We were just saying as that film was showing, just loving the crispness of the hand through the England backline when they have an opportunity to take. Yeah,
it's been awesome. I think every single try there's been a passage of play where the balls have been out in front. Players are running onto it, they're running straight, they're running square, they're releasing the next player, and you know that's preserving the space for the players like Jessica Breach, Abby Dow on either wing, and you know they're going to be very, very grateful of that. Yeah, that's what you want from a women's rugby team, their balls out in front, certainly. Natasha, it's been the pace of England's turnover, as Emily says, that's been working for them. Canada have had a bit of go forward at that scrum, but they're just catching themselves a little bit too narrow, not able to make the most of the bits of possession that they've had. Yeah, it's like you said about the handling. I think they've had opportunities quite a lot because England are really trying to go forward and do a hard press in defence, that they're leaving the edges quite exposed really, but Canada just at the moment aren't finding those passes to be able to get over the top, to get the ball into the 13 channel, into the wingers' hands to be able to exploit that space. Yeah, absolutely. This of course the first game in the Old Mutual Wealth series of matches for England. All three are against Canada, and the next two coming up on Tuesday at the Twickenham Stoop. That's a 7:45 kickoff, and then on Saturday after the England-Samoa game next week, that one a 17:40 start. But you can get to these games, certainly the one at the Stoop. The tickets are available. englandrugby.com/tickets. Get down and support the Red Roses. You've seen what rugby can be produced by this side. It's well worth turning up and seeing in person. And then of course at Twickenham Stadium, that's after the men's game. You can get in for free for that one into HQ once the men are done. And well, these are a few of the other games coming up on our live stream. Nottingham against Ealing Trailfinders. That one coming up on Sunday. Second Ealing against Nottingham in fourth. That should be a real cracker. And then Bedford against Hartpury on Friday next week. And then the big one, we can confirm it for you because this has been a little secret in our back pocket, let me tell you. But Sunday the 3rd of December, it's a double header. Of course, another TV might have, you know, the Harlequins men's game, but you're going to join us because at 5:30 kickoff, we've got Harlequins ladies against Saracens women, the two sides at the top of the Tyrrell's Premier 15s who've yet to lose. Tasty one, that, isn't it? Really tasty one, yeah. As you say, both sides unbeaten. Both sides probably think they can beat the other, so yeah, both sides going head to head. What a great game that will be. Yeah, 8 out of 8 for both of those sides at the top, as you can see. And yeah, look at the amount of points they've been scoring. And well, you're circling it there next to me. You know, the defence for Saracens is really a key part there, isn't it? Look at that, just 71 points conceded. It's huge when you look at the figures, you know, across the board. It really, really stands out. And you know, Harlequins have probably scored the most tries, been prolific in terms of their try scoring this season, and Saracens on the flip of that have been keeping the most people out. So yeah, that's going to be a fantastic game. 3rd of December, do join us for that. Going to be sensational one.
So the game of our lives is a theme that's been going, you know, throughout the last couple of weeks since the film was launched, and well, it's an opportunity to hear from people at grassroots level, but also the people at the very top of the game. And we've seen Katie Daly-McLean out here pulling the strings. Let's find out how much rugby means to her.
Oh, 2014 was just sensational. I think when you look back on it, I look back on it with such a fondness. At the time, it was a massive relief just to kind of win that World Cup and to finally put all those demons to bed. But now, just the squad, the players, the staff, that everybody who was around was just one big family, and brings back a massive sense of pride. It was such a big game, and we got to the game, and probably my clearest memory is standing at the tunnel opposite Kelly Russell, who was the Canadian captain, World Cup trophies in front of us, ready to run onto the pitch, and just thinking, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to move.
Now there's space. It's Alfonsi, it's Waterman, it's Danielle Waterman. McLean, here's Scarrett on a much flatter ball. Emily Scarrett! Emily Scarrett is going to go all the way!
I think I remember about 69 minutes looking up at the clock. Skaz had obviously scored, and we were clear, and there really wasn't enough time for Canada to come back. And that was probably my clearest memory of the game, to think, we've done this, like, we're going to go on to win this World Cup. But that group, by the end of it, we were just like family, you know. We looked out for each other, we cared for each other, we gave each other a bit of banter, and we called each other out when we needed to be. And it is like one big, ginormous family of 36 dysfunctional people. That's ultimately what rugby is, isn't it? Because the game is, you are so reliant on your teammates. You know, you make all these great friends, you play in great teams, but actually you're just part of one much bigger, wider community. Friendship, teamwork, support, the ability to have so many different types of people in one pitch, on one pitch together, going for the same goal, and it just is so inclusive. And I think something that I've made by far my best friends are from this game, and I'm very, very lucky to have played it.
Still love Katie Daly-McLean's face when she's lifting that cup well, these two athletes alongside me were a big part of in France 2014. Still happy memories, I imagine.
Very happy.
Yes, good. Let's have a quick look at some of the scores that have gone down in that first half then, as we wait the teams coming out. And, well, Natasha Hunt, you can talk us through it.
Yeah, so here you just see really dominant carry, sucks in 3 and 4 of the backs. They're really looking at the breakdown, and then it just allows that extra bit of space, really nice sharp fizz passes to Jess Breach, and she does so well to finish that. I think she beats 3 defenders on the outside shoulder, then inside, and brilliant finish for her first international try. Just flirting with the touchline there.
Tiptoeing down that white wasn't she?
Wing. Again, amazing hands from the backs. I think this one was Burford to Katie Daly-McLean skipping around the back, and Jess Breach is just having an absolute field day, isn't she?
Yeah, what I love about this one is Ro Burnfield's out there. She's holding some width. Yes, she doesn't touch the ball, but actually the defence have to stay on her. They can't leave her early, and that just creates that fraction more space for Jessica Breach on the edge.
Yeah, and here again, lovely timing of the pass. Is that her? Oh, it's Abby Scott. The second rows are in shot all the time, aren't they? Really backing it up well. It's just brilliant play from them. Lovely again, show and go from Katie McLean, just seeing if the defender's going to bite or not. And then fantastic finish from Abby Dow. In and out, and just absolute wheels to burn.
Well, thank you, Natasha. While we await the teams coming out, I believe we've actually got the England coaches, Simon Middleton, just able to join us here in our studio. Simon, just move in slightly, and we'll even get you on camera for your troubles. So we were just going through the tries there. You must be delighted with that first half showing.
Yeah, we've been on our turnover ball, and when we've looked after the ball and got through a few phases and then got ball into space, we've looked really sharp. You know, and it's what we know these kids have got on the wing. They've got great pace. You've got to get having a little bit of a discussion and also talking about when we're going to get the other players on, because we want to get a look at them as well if possible. Yeah,
well, listen, we'll let you get back to your coach's box just around the corner. Great to have you join us. Thanks very much indeed. Keep warm as well. It's a chilly little evening here at Allianz Park. So the two teams are coming out down the tunnel, and we're ready to get the second half underway. England leading by 29 points to 0 in this, the first of the Old Mutual Wealth Series internationals. 3 tries from Jess Breach, the headlines so far. Will she add to that tally second half? And what are the changes that may be afoot to get some of those new players on, as Simon Middleton hints towards the likes of the finishers Ellie Kildunn, Zoe Harrison and Katie Mattinson, who may come on at half-back. Shauna Brown, big powerful Quins back rower as well. Love to see her. The experienced Tamara Taylor, Rocky Clark, and then Lark Davis for a 4th cap. Hannah Bottoman as well, the young prop, with a chance to perhaps come on into the front row. Plenty to look forward to second half. Keep in touch with us as to how your Friday evening's looking. We've heard about the bolognese and the wine on the go. Sounds like everyone's having a lovely time. We've got some nice rugby to enjoy as well. Katie Daly-McLean with the kick-off for the second half. Goes deep to try and put Canada back on their own line. And Ice Holly is making a good fist of that, getting back from her own 5-metre line. Go to the far side, looking for the little gap to open up. Miller. Laura Russell just finding a way through. Coming round shorter.
It's a really smart kick-off by England. They've seen in the first half that Canada haven't kicked the ball well. They've not exited well from their own 22, from their own half. So to kick the ball long, put them under pressure there, make them either attempt to do another kick or actually force them to run themselves out. And England just have to be a little bit careful. They got themselves a little bit narrow there, especially on this open side. Leanne Riley came into the line well and plugged a gap there, but potentially just shortening up a fraction.
Just the one area of the game that Canada were enjoying some profit from in the first half, but it's going to be England who make the most of this one as it turns and wheels, but Poppy Cleal comes away with it. Daly-McLean, Reid with a short line that she's not going to take the ball from. And Burford. Quambra running round the corner. Burnfield just looked to offload the pass there, but didn't really check the colour of the jersey before she did it. Canada have turnover ball, but it's untidy. Knock-on comes to England. Leanne Riley needs support. Oh, she's tried to pop that up to Hunter. It's a knock-on from both sides. And a little untidy start to the second half.
Yeah, we heard Simon Middle talking about, you know, it's great when the England backs have had the ball out in front, they've been running onto it, the crispness of the pass, etc., but actually sometimes a little bit inaccurate with the ball as well, and that's just another example. We've been singing Rowena Burnfield's praises all game long in terms of her carrying ability. Just that one there, I don't think she'd quite sighted the player before she'd offloaded it, and that's just a little bit of presence of mind, knowing where you are on the field, knowing how much ball you've just had, etc., and just knowing that England here have got to build a platform.
Riley. Ball's at the base for England. Cleal. Breach coming off the left wing. Breach to go route one. Breach to get try number 4. Oh, well, how about that?
What a finish. What a finish. I tell you what, I wish I had some wheels like that. You know, that's one of the simplest scrum plays in the book, but when you do it effectively, when you have hands like Poppy Cleal has at the back of the scrum, when the scrum is stable and strong, and when you've got wheels like Jessica Breach has, just cutting that line, you know, Canada probably set themselves up a fraction wide here to open that gap up in the first place. The flankers stayed in because England actually, you know, they were scrummaging. They had to stay on the scrum that time, and it just opens up all of that space for Jessica Breach, and she is having a whale of a time at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's potentially a little bit of inexperience on the flank there. What she's done is she's come forward rather than going sideways and trying to link with her number 10. So it just opened up that seam for Jess to attack. And like Skaz said, like Emily said, sorry, when she's got wheels like that, you cannot stop that. Little feint in and out and brilliant finish. Fantastic play.
You can call her Skaz if you like, Mo.
Yeah.
Jessica Breach, try number 4. Amber Reid adds the extras, 36 points to 0. England have it. Now, I like this from Lucy Amelia on Twitter. Started watching the England rugby women's game while my dad took over the TV. He's now turned off the TV to watch the game. Marvellous good work, Lucy. Red Roses providing all the entertainment this evening. Abby Scott tackled hard, but the ball went backwards. Burford helps to tidy it up. And Scott will carry again. Riley looking to the right. Daly McLean. Got a decent boot on her, Daly McLean. That is a superb kick.
It's a really smart play by England. We've seen them, you know, Jess Breach has just scored a fantastic try, but before that they, you know, coughed up possession again. So it's just about taking hold of this game again, taking ourselves forward, taking the England pack forward. Now there's a line out just outside the Canadian 22 where, you know, they've been struggling to win their own ball at the line out. So it's another great opportunity to get in the air and try and turn possession over.
It's also incredibly demoralising for a forward pack when you're constantly going backwards, and if you can't exit, it's really, really difficult to just keep playing the game because defending's really hard, but equally keeping the ball tight and trying to play phase after phase is really quite difficult as well. So just shows what an impact a good kicking game can have.
McKinley Hunt has come into the action for Canada. Named after a mountain in Alaska. There's a stat you can't say very often. Canada rampaging forward with Olivia de Merchant. Pops up the pass, but it's gone forwards, and that is one of those moments that, well, we've talked about the decision making as to when to hold on and when to give that pass.
Yeah, exactly. Canada, you know, in spits and spats are showing huge promise in terms of ball carrying ability, you know, picking off the seams that England are leaving at times, but then, yeah, it's just that frustrating, that last pass, that offload into you know, space rather than at a person. You know, they've got to keep hold of the ball. As we said, they don't have a huge kicking game, so they've got to go through the phases in order to break down what is proving to be a strong English defence.
Well, Shauna Brown given an early introduction to the second half. Poppy Cleal takes her place on the bench after a great display. Sarah Hunter will slip back to number 8 to make room for Shauna Brown on the blind side. And Hunter gets it away to her scrum half, Reid. Good offload for Burford, who shows brilliant hands. Daly McLean. It was one of those hospital passes for Danielle Waterman. Paige Farries has been definitely one of the brighter lights for Canada. But here's one of England's bright lights, Marley Packer. It's a little loose. 3 players all over Marley Packer wanting that ball, honeypotting a little bit. Leanne Riley. Daly McLean floats that one. Abby Dow gets it back in field. Touch flag staying down as they keep themselves in field. Riley. Packer again. Quick ball for Riley now. Reid. Abby Scott. Oh, nicely out the back from Scott to Shauna Brown. Shauna Brown, is she going to score on her debut? Gets dreadfully close. Riley again. Amy Cockayne with the pirouette and with the try. England get their second of the second half, and it's Amy Cockayne.
it's great control by England. We've spoken, you know, so much about them getting the ball to the edge, and so often they've had crisp hand, they've found the space, and they've flown down the touchline. But in that case, they've had to stay patient. They've had to keep hold of the ball, and that's such a pleasing thing to see. You know, Shauna Brown is getting her hands on the ball, flying forwards. Marley Packer's flying forwards, and the support play and the continuity, and England maintaining their shape. They've still got players all the way across the field, which, as a Canadian player, when you're looking up and you're seeing white shirts everywhere, you know you've got to hold your space. You know you've got to stay in the defensive line, and you know Amy Cockayne slightly unconventionally does a pirouette and scores.
Thought Shauna Brown must have been thinking, my first touch and a try, surely.
I think she got too scared to take that extra movement, didn't she? She kind of sat up cross-legged to make sure that she was passing the ball back.
Probably the right call, I'd say. I'm going to give her the benefit of good decision-making there. If you've missed the likes of Shauna Brown as Amber Reid goes for this conversion, she's been tearing up trees for Harlequins this season. Oh, that one's just gone past the left-hand upright from Reid. Shauna Brown's been absolutely great. She's a Commonwealth Games shot and hammer thrower, commercial deep sea diver by trade, does a bit of boxing, known as Shauna the Hammer Brown. I mean, there are plenty of lines about her, destined to play for England, and she's got her opportunity.
What I love about that try is we've spoken about the importance of keeping hold of the ball, and Amy Cockayne, look, she obviously feels like she can't make that pass to Danielle Waterman's hand, so she keeps hold of it, and you know she does a spin and she gets herself to the try line, but it's just the importance of keeping hold of the ball.
England through Scott. This is the area of the field where they built the last try from. It's where it all started. Kick down field from Daly McLean. Gave them the previous platform. This time it's a little better fielded by Canada. England have got turnover ball here. Abby Scott just holds it up. Roe Burnfield then gets it away for Shauna Brown, who's met well in the tackle from Jada. And now England come wider again. Reid on for Breach. Breach fancying another go. Farries, oh, couldn't hold on to Breach. Breach goes the outside again. This is an incredible performance from Jess Breach. She had work to do on that occasion. Farries couldn't hold on to it. She stepped around the last defender. Sure, yeah, I'll have a debut and I'll score 5 tries.
We keep saying it, don't we? That the confidence of this young woman, Jessica Breach, to constantly back herself. She's gone on the outside. She knows she's probably going to get tackled. She comes away from the touchline, has a go back on the inside, fades again. The feet, the footwork, the transfer of the ball, scoring tries for fun. She's going to think playing international rugby is a doddle.
Well, she scored 12 tries for Harlequins in the season in the Premier 15 so far. She's nearly halfway there in one evening, with a red rose on her shirt. Fabulous stuff from Jess Breach.
We keep saying it, but it's great understanding from the other players in the team. You know, so many forwards keeping the ball alive in that. Roe Burnfield again, Shauna Brown, Amber Reid with that last pass. Give the ball to the space. You know, she's been tackled probably once in this game, Jessica Breach. Keep giving her the ball until Canada figure it out and you know, essentially stop her.
It's another tricky position for Amber Reid. That one will get away.
Yeah, I think what we've just missed off this replay as well is Amber Reid has 3 or 4 defenders inside her, and it's really easy to try and attack those defenders to try and preserve the space, but you don't need to. When you've got wheels like that outside you, just release her, and we're seeing the reward from that.
Our replay producer loves you for that now. Absolutely loves you. Castleford ladies, by the way, have tweeted that Amy Cockayne should be up for BBC Strictly next season after that pirouette. And she's now going to try and come straight through the middle, so show she's got the pace as well. Abby Scott coming into the game more. We saw a lot of Roe Burnfield in that first half. Scott now linking through the middle excellently. And now Danielle Waterman with the little shimmy. Gets it away to Dow. England pressing for another score here. They've got 8. Daly McLean just loses it. Still in England's hands. Riley, Hunter. Just wonder whether shifting to 8 will make Sarah Hunter a little bit more comfortable this second half. Start seeing her do more of what she does. Oh, the tackling from Canada is just poor at the minute. Amy Cockayne piling through. Nobody interested in bringing down the England hooker. Eventually they do. Riley, ball out out to the right.
Offside.
Burford with plenty to do. Not held in the tackle.
Offside.
There's a penalty advantage coming due to an offside.
Offside, Fred. Offside.
Well.
12 offside.
Change for England. Just to confirm, Ro Bonefield having been replaced by Tamara Taylor, earning her 110th cap, Taylor. And Ellie Kildunn is also waiting on the sidelines to make her entrance.
Time off.
Another one of those players that's been having a great Premier 15 season. It's been great to bring you episodes of that through our live stream on Premier15s.com and the England Rugby Facebook page. Sunday the 3rd of December for that Harlequin Saracens clash. Don't miss that.
15.
Sam Alley is also coming on the field now for a debut for Canada. They are all debutants on the Canadian bench, so it's a real look to the future. 21 years of age. Played a bit of competitive golf as Ali. And Danielle Waterman is leaving for England. And Ellie Kildunn is onto the field. 75 caps for Waterman. One of the more experienced voices at the back for England. Cockayne. Cornborough waits at the front. They get it up for Scott. We haven't had too many rumbles over from the forwards. It's been all the backs so far, but maybe Amy Cockayne fancies try number 2. She's in there at the back. I'm not sure that she got it.
I'm not sure who's going to come up with that, but I think Amy Cockayne was digging for it, but whoever has scored it wasn't going to release the ball easily. I put my money on Marley Packer.
I wonder if it might have been Marley at the bottom of it. We'll have another look in a minute, but yeah, not too much up the jumper stuff so far, but the forwards fancied a cuddle. Maybe they were going to be getting a bit cold down there.
Yeah, it's a great try from England. It's something that, you know, that England have prided themselves on over the years, is the strength at the line out, the strength of the rolling maul. We've not seen it a huge amount in this game because it's all been about, you know, space in those wide channels, but yeah, what a great try.
What's really great from this try is Abby Scott's ability to stay on her feet. You can see the Canadian girl hanging off her, trying to drag her down. And I think Matt Ferguson said before the game that the speed to their drive is about the speed of the setup. They've got 16 to 20 line-out options and 4 jumpers just in the starting lineup. So it's really difficult to defend when you've got that amount of experience and options across the field.
Successful conversion from Amber Reid. Adds to the try that Marley Packer scores.
Check with the screen. You can check.
This angle shows it a little bit better. Look, Shauna Brown there holding Abby Scott up. That's the reason that this maul doesn't go to the ground and that they can keep dragging over. It's absolutely fantastic play from Brown there.
Giving it Packer. Cornborough was in there as well.
Yeah.
One of them will tell us later. It's Marley Packer on the ball for now, that's for sure. Riley away with Daly McLean. Breaking now for Canada. Opportunity for them through Ronnie Harrigan.
Release White. Yeah, with you. Backwards.
Spill backwards. England pile the pressure on just as Canada feel they have an opportunity.
2 offside.
Penalty to the visitors. Alhambra Nievas.
Back, please. Number 2 White offside.
Getting involvement in the Challenge Cup as well, involved in men's internationals.
Scrum, red.
Credit where it's due for the likes of Nievas and Neville. 2 female referees in the game. Does seem to be an improved attitude from World Rugby over the time to now make sure the top referees are on the top games, not necessarily developing maybe underqualified female referees on the women's game. They've kind of understood it doesn't need to work like that. So Nally on for pop-off, that confirmation. Canada pick from the back, looking to try and go down the channel with Emily Belchos. They maintain possession. No, it's still not tidy ball. Holly with plenty of pressure around her. She's done well to pick it up.
Release White.
She's a strong player, Holly. Interesting, one of her routines pre-match is to brush her teeth. Likes to go onto the field fresh, does Anais, Holly? Digging for the ball. Justine Pelletier. Played a bit of football while she was at school. Canada still with it. England in position to defend. As much as Canada have thrown at England, they haven't really troubled the defence. Possibly towards the end of that first half when we saw them camped on the line. They got ever so close.
Canada's attack is constantly being stifled by their handling ability. They've had, some, not clear-cut opportunities, but opportunities nonetheless to move the ball, to keep themselves going forward, and the balls have gone to ground or they've not been accurate, they've not been out in front. And for me, that's been one of the biggest difference in terms of England being able to take the opportunities that they've had and Canada perhaps not being able to do so.
Yeah, I think also potentially a bit of naivety. They've had real dominance at the scrum over England, and that last one they're about 7 metres out from the try line and they choose to pick and play away to their backs, whereas I'd have loved to see them keep it in, just go for the drive, keep going for the drive and just seeing what they can get out of that.
Great to see some decent numbers here at Allianz Park on a Friday night. Traffic around London on a Friday night is challenging enough. So good to see people overcoming that, getting out and cheering on the Red Roses. Will you be there on Tuesday night? 7:45 at the Twickenham Stoop. englandrugby.com/tickets to get yourself down there and cheer on the Red Roses. England get a bit of movement on that Canada scrum, but they put up with it well. Keeping it in the forwards has largely been where Canada have been getting the most change out of England. Abby Scott trying to come round and challenge where she's allowed to legally. Pelletier trying to drive her forwards on. Ronnie Harrigan in there as well. They come close quarters round the corner. Alex Ellis trying to help the effort, the number 17 there. England with a counter up. Just driving Bukaboom back. Cindy Nells was in a good position. Had a decent game. Now they look for options around the corner of that breakdown. They can bring in the England defence and strike quickly. That's where it might happen, but the ball is slow. They're having to construct it. Pelletier, then away for Nells again, trying to get low body position. Are they over? Yes, it's a try for Canada. And it's Ronnie Harrigan, I think, at the bottom of it. Great to see the visitors get over the whitewash for all of their endeavour.
Yeah, it wasn't one of the prettiest tries, was it? But sometimes they don't have to be. Sometimes you just got to get some points on the board. And fair play to Canada. We've possibly criticised them all game for not being able to keep hold of the ball for long enough, not being able to take some of the opportunities that have been presented to them. And as I say, this wasn't one of the prettiest ones, but sometimes you've just got to put your head down. You've got to keep going. And they get over the try line for their efforts.
In fact, it was I think Cindy Nells who scored it, the number 8. That is decent reward. Nells has been a really bright light for Canada throughout the game. Conversion goes wide. Rugby Canada with points on the board. Sandro Fiorino can certainly feel in his coaching role that there are building blocks with these young members, these young debutants in his side. With a bit more of that experience coming back, the likes of Kelly Russell, Magali Harvey perhaps. It's a disappointing World Cup from Canada. I think everyone expected them to offer a little more than they did. They have, over the last few years, been a really dominant side, of course, taking on England in that Women's Rugby World Cup final in 2014, almost becoming one of those sides that you don't want to see a weakened Canada, because they are good exponents of the women's game. That's turning into an interesting little crossfield kick for Farries, who taps it back in field really nicely, and that's to Emma Jada. Farries, as we've mentioned, another one of those decent players, and now they're coming down the short channels, and Jada again looking to try and get outside. Marley Packer has the awareness to pop it up into the hands of Belchos, and well, that try has just put a little spring in the step of the Canadians, but I wondered if it just went forward there for a moment, but it's still with Canada, away from Pelletier, then through Nielsen. Work to do for Holly, who's scragged in the tackle.
What an opportunist try from there. Canada, you know, we've said it, they don't have the biggest kicking game, but when you don't have a huge distance on your boot, you've got to look at alternatives, and I thought Belchos there, putting one up in the air. We've already spoken about the fact that England get themselves a fraction narrow, especially off a kickoff. She puts it into the space, bounces fortunately for them, and, you know, they're keeping hold of the ball, they're going forward, and then, you know, Abby Dow won't be complaining. She's running in for another score.
Well, the slightest miscontrol in a tackle, and Dow there to pounce. Abby Dow, 8 tries herself in the Premier 15s for Wasps. And a fair few big finishers in the side. Reid. We'll have the 2. It'll take England up to 60 points. Well, an interesting few days for Canada to decide how best to adapt the game plan for when they play England on Tuesday. Couple more changes waiting in the wings for Canada. Courtney Holmkamp is looking to come on, as is Emily Barber, but England with possession here through Sarah Hunter, and Rocky Clark is onto the field. Clark earning cap number 130. You heard me right. Debut in 2003. That was on the shoulder of Shauna Brown, but she did well. And look at the leg drive through the tackle from Brown. That's what you get from the Harlequins flanker. Quick ball for England. Trying to get some go forward as well. Zoe Harrison is onto the field. And that's Harrison with the long pass for Packer. Packer looks back inside for Burford. Must have got the call. It was almost just over the shoulder of Burford. Confirmation Luck Davis is on for Amy Cockayne as well. So Middleton giving the replacements a chance to get on now with a good 15 minutes remaining of the match. Clark. Ball's there for Riley. Harrison. Crossfield kick from Harrison. Oh, and it might have fallen into the hands of Jess Breach. If you don't buy a ticket, you're not going to win the raffle. And Jess Breach is in for try number 6. Do not adjust your sets. What a score.
I tell you what, fortune favours the brave, doesn't it? That kick, possibly not necessarily a clear-cut on opportunity for Zoe Harrison there, but I tell you what, once you put it in the sky, once you've given yourself a 50-50 chance, and sometimes they fall for you, and at the moment Jess Breach is getting every bounce of a ball and every rub of the green.
Aaron on Twitter, my feed froze for a second, and by the time it came back, England had scored another try. Well, that's only 2 right. It was probably Jess Breach, I imagine, when you came back from it freezing momentarily. Sorry that it froze, by the way, but England are enjoying themselves here. Harrison, that one was close.
Again, it's great to see young players like Zoe Harrison having the confidence to kick that ball, send it crossfield. We saw Katie Daly-McLean do one in the first half that Abby Dow just couldn't quite hold. It's another facet to the England game, the kicking game. It shows that they don't just pass the ball wide. It shows they don't just truck it up through the middle. There's threats everywhere, and when you're looking at that from a defensive prospect, it's a little bit of a daunting one.
The voice of Emily Scarratt with us in commentary here, alongside Natasha Hunt. Great to have two of England's exceptional Red Roses here in commentary with us, giving us their opinion. The very best in the game. Shauna Brown just saw the referee hesitate with the whistle to the mouth there, almost thinking about blowing for not releasing the ball there, which we saw early in the game, but Brown not held in the tackle, allowed to get back to her feet. Canada, though, have managed to get possession here, and the call comes on the shoulder. That was well done from Alex Ellis. Nels comes crashing through that breakdown. Brilliant drive through the breakdown there from Sarah Hunter, giving Pelletier absolutely no time to get the ball away from the breakdown. And the England skipper is there again, Abby Scott, with her. Hunter with the tackle. Pelletier. Nice little hold up of the ball.
Leave it now, leave it.
Nels waits at first receiver. Comes down for Nielsen. Nielsen's trying to find a way through. You just get a real sense of how much effort it takes for Canada to fight for every metre against this England side. England defence is strong. Cindy Nels is doing well. Just Nielsen taking that one in. There it is again from Alex Ellis, but now it's been knocked on. Shauna Brown was trying to get there to force the turnover. Referee will have to blow the whistle for the knock-on, and England will have a scrum and look to enjoy trying to build another opportunity.
Yeah, again, it's great defence from the English girls, that slowly moving Canada back further down the field with every phase of play. Yes, the handling from the Canadians hasn't been the best, and the ball in the air. When the ball's in the air, when the players are passing the ball, it means that the English defence can continually take step forwards. There's no threat. When the ball's in the air, there's no threat, so they can keep coming forward. So as the Canadians are looping these passes, throwing them to the ground, it means that England can just continually take yards up and up and up the field.
England now with Harrison. Little look from Zoe Harrison, but there was obviously someone meant to be there, and it didn't quite come together. But these are the opportunities that build a bit more experience for England. Canada scrabbling for possession at the back of the maul, and England turn it over, and now it comes away. One bounce on the ball for Clark, and then Clark gets it away to young Hannah Botterman, and Botterman striding forwards. She's got the most weight in the side. She's going to be difficult to stop when she gets going. Coming wide now for Breach. Breach taken into touch. Emmanuel Ajada was not going to risk it, and she's got to touch a cramp down there. Not surprised. Clearance kick is decent in the end. Very nicely done. Needed to just find the time. Barber. Say it again, but it is the whole of the Canadian back line that are all debutants. So Barber is another one of those. Played a bit of under-20s in 2013, the 24-year-old. Here's another platform for England. Bottomman ready to add the power to the drive round the corner. Now it's away from Katie Mattinson, who's onto the field for Leanne Riley. Picking round the corner goes Shauna Brown. Mattinson, Harrison, Burford with the experience in midfield. Ellie Kildunn steps through one tackle. Kildunn wants to go all the way. Oh, it falls over her shoulder. Abigail Dow, she managed to get the ball down. They were having to recycle. That was fortunate for Dow. Then low body position. Burford couldn't get over. Clark. She fancied the score herself. Is Rocky Clark over? She is. On her 130th cap. Rochelle Clark gets England's 11th try. 12th try even. Losing count over here.
I know Rocky Clark is on her 130th cap tonight, and you know she's played a huge amount of games, but I tell you what, she's scored some tries as well. She's scored so many tries. For a front row forward, she has scored some serious tries in her career, and from that distance out, that opportunity, she can smell the try line. She's, I don't want to say old, she's too experienced to bypass an opportunity like that.
I don't think if you say I don't want to say it, you could then say it.
Still counts, doesn't it?
Just say banter. She's beaten 6 defenders here. She has absolutely no right to ground this ball. Just fantastic finish from them, and it's just relentless, isn't it, from the England pack. They have been so dominant all game, granted not in the scrum, but everywhere else on the field they've been absolutely fantastic. So difficult for a Canadian defence to deal with.
Great to see Ellie Kildunn on the ball as well. You know, she came on 10-15 minutes ago, and she's probably not seen the ball that she wants to as an outside back, but great to see her there, using her footwork, using her pace, and also offloading ability. You know, Abby Dow was very, very close to going over for another try for her.
Rocky Clark's 23rd try for England, and Zoe Harrison adds the extras. So it's a moment when I need to find out from Emily Scarrett who's going to be the one to pick out from this evening as your player of the match.
There's so many people to mention. You know, Jessica Breach on her debut scored 6 tries, made it look easy. What a fantastic game for her. I thought Reid and Burford in the midfield. You know, we spoke about it before the game. How crucial they were going to be in terms of releasing the outside backs. But Burnfield Hunter, again, just carrying the ball, relentless. But for me, my player of the match, just taking it into contact there, Marley Packer. She has made an unbelievable amount of breaks. Her ability to move the ball just before and post contact has been fantastic. Also turning balls over at the breakdown.
Well, as we discuss our player of the match, a moment ago you mentioned Ellie Kildunn, and she pops up to support Jess Breach, and Kildunn will score on her debut. England 77 now. Try number 13, and Kildunn has it.
Great to see Ellie getting her hands on the ball. She's 18 years of age, and yeah, she's not long come onto the field. She hasn't had a huge amount of ball, and how simple is this try when you look at it? Great ball from Burford again. Jess Breach steps inside, does what she does best, then has the presence of mind. I imagine Ellie Kildunn is screaming for that pass, and Jess Breach has the presence of mind to deliver the ball, knowing that she's already got 6 in the bag, and actually she can share the load a little bit.
Great finish from Kildunn. Two more added. England up to 79. Of course, England without the retired Kay Wilson, Emily Scarrett, Natasha Hunt up here, of course, involved in the Sevens programme, Lydia Thompson, Megan Jones, Alex Matthews, all these players not involved. So a real chance over this campaign for Simon Middleton to have a look at the next generation, those players knocking on the door. Certainly those who've knocked on the door have come flying through it, the likes of Jess Breach and Kildunn, who's come onto the field. There is going to be quite some competition for places over this season. Great to see for the future of England. We'll hope to hear from Marley Packer at the end of the game. I will be leaving it to you, Emily, to have the conversation with Jess Breach as to how she hasn't got player of the match with half a dozen tries under her belt.
It's a really hard one, isn't it? But obviously, being a centre, you have an appreciation for all the hard work that goes into getting the ball to her in the first place. And look, I'm not taking anything away from her. She finished each one of those tries superbly well. But for me, there's been some real hard yards to get her the ball in the first place.
Canada come to the right.
If you had a winger in commentary, I think the answer would be a little bit different.
Ronnie Harrigan. Canada still throwing bodies in for the cause. That's a little untidy from Holtkamp. England snaffle it through Clark. Mattinson, Hunter, first receiver, hands up for a target. They teach you that day one of rugby, and Sarah Hunter there showing all of you out there exactly how it's done.
I think Marley Packer got away with one there, didn't she? After I've just been singing her praises, she was lucky that they were on an advantage because she just got stripped of the ball. She won't be happy about that one.
I think she heard that she'd got player of the match and she switched off now. Job done. Nah, she thoroughly deserves it. Fantastic game from Marley Packer.
Up, please. Up, wide. Crouch. Fine. Set.
Mattinson. Scrum holds steady. Hunter feeds her scrum half. Well, it's a nice ball away for Harrison. Mattinson arrives quickly. Bristol scrum half, one of the smallest in the side, but good work rate and endeavour. She knew she had to arrive there and get the clear out made as well. Now, having made the clear out, she goes back to receive the ball. Great work from Mattinson. Hunter stepping back inside, looking a little more comfortable since she's slipped back to 8. Burford on for Dow. Or was it Kildun? Now Tam Taylor even has time to look over the shoulder and check that the referee isn't blowing up for a knock-on. Then the little ball back inside. That one was for Packer. Mattinson, they're queuing up to try and run this one through. Bottoman. Now they go wider for Kildun. Looks back inside for Clark. Clark trying to use the power to get past the tackle. Mattinson again. Reed is in at first receiver. Shauna Brown. Brown gets the offload away to Hunter. Just changing the point of attack at close quarters. Good maturity from the Red Roses. Now it's pulled back from Harrison. It's pulled back a little too far. Burford just loses her footing. Canada get turnover ball. Referee tells them to use it. Our clock has gone red. We're on the referee's whistle. Canada, oh, they go around the fringes and fancy working their way straight up the centre. That was nice. Belchus goes in, putting it through the hands. Anais Holly. Is it going to be Canada who have the final word? Bottoman trying to come through and put the pressure on. That's really good pickup from Nielsen. Penalty England. Marley Packer forcing the turnover and earning the penalty.
Great stuff from Marley Packer. She's justifying my decision well there with, you know, one of the final plays of the game.
It's all right. It's not in any doubt. We're fine with the decision. She's had a stormer.
She's had such a great game. She's so good over the ball. She's carried amazingly well. And for me, the really pleasing thing about what Marley's done this evening is she's offloaded the ball. She's looked to move it just before contact, away from contact. So often we see, you know, some of these forward runners just going and seeing how far they can get, and actually she's had the presence of mind to pick her head up, know that there's space elsewhere, and keep moving that ball, keeping it alive.
So from the penalty, England of course entitled to the line out. And now they're going to try and rumble this. Rocky Clark has to peel away from the front. And now gets involved at the back as Canada put the tackles in. There's another penalty coming. Mattinson will have the opportunity to use it, but Shauna Brown is fancying her chance to use it first of all.
Still advantage.
Now it's there for Clark. They go round the corner. Still a penalty advantage being played to England, possibly a second one, given Canada's attempt to try and deter England from the line. Now it comes backwards. It was ripped away from Cindy Nels, but will come back. What's going to be the call here for England? Sarah Hunter is asking the question. And Harrison will pop it into the corner again. England wanting to build. They want to finish things off on a round number. 13 tries just not sounding right to them. They want number 14. They create it again. Matt Ferguson will be cheering them on down there. They get over. Have they managed to get the ball down? Referee says it's short. Says that will be it. England just short of finding try number 14, but I think we'll be all right with 13. No doubt on the mind of Sarah Hunter. A very accomplished performance by the Red Roses against the Canada side that have started their journey themselves. 14 debutants in the side. A really transitional period for them, and plenty of them that stood up, likes of Paige Farries, Anais Holly at the back, Jess Nielsen doing well, Cindy Nels, the try scorer. They've got plenty of talent there, and well, work for interim head coach to do, Sandro Fiorino, in terms of building them. We'll hope to hear from him with our pitchside reporter Bill Latham shortly. But Emily Scarrett, a solid and very good performance by England.
Oh, fantastic. I don't think you can ask much more than that. You know, when you put a squad together that hasn't had a huge amount of time together, you've got some old experienced heads, you've got some new, fresh, young talent, you put them together, of course there's going to be some mistakes, of course there's going to be some things that don't go completely to plan, but what the girls have done out there today is they've shown what fantastic rugby players they are. Their handling ability has been superb, and just their general understanding and ability to play the game the way they want to play it, play to their strengths, use the pace, handle the ball, all of that. Fantastic, fantastic start.
The try apiece for the likes of Kildunn, Packer, Burford, Cockayne and Rocky Clark. Brace from Abigail Dow and Jess Breach with the other 6.
It's not bad, is it? It's not bad at all for a debut.
It'll do. It will do. What a great performance from England, winning by 79 points to 5 against Canada. And I think Bill Latham down pitch side has got Marley Packer and maybe Jess Breach alongside her as well for good measure.
Marley Packer, Jess Breach, congratulations. I tell you what, Jess, it takes a lot when you score 6 tries on your debut and you're still not player of the match. Marley Packer. How important was it for you to take that game to Canada, Marley?
Just
Like, it was massive. Like, obviously coming off the back of the World Cup, we're back into a new cycle. We got the kids coming in that got gas from everywhere. I'm looking up, doing a breakdown, and they're scoring on the other wing. So like, it was just brilliant. Like, Canada brought it to us, but like, it's a great start to the series for us.
How clinical were you at times?
Really clinical. Like, we had a game plan, we stuck to it. Obviously in the first half, scrums didn't quite go our way, but we regrouped at half time, and I think we came out and we came fighting, but all the time Canada didn't give up. They kept coming at us all the time, but these kids just scored for fun today. You said the kids, have they brought a freshness into the squad? Oh yeah, massively. Like, I'm feeling old and I'm only 28, but yeah, they bring a freshness to the side. They're always laughing, and they just like give us an energising battery, really. Jess, how much fun was that for you?
Yeah, no, really good fun. As a first cap, it was amazing to get 6 tries, but the game was so physical and we had to work hard to get the win that we did.
You know, that's not meant to happen, Jess. You know, on your debut, you're meant to be a bit nervous. You're meant to, you know, just ease your way into the game. You're not meant to score on your first touch and then score 6 tries.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I was nervous, but when you catch the ball and you see space in front of you, you might as well just take it on.
So Marley's calling you the kids. How have the older players, the experienced players, welcomed you guys, you youngsters, into the squad?
Yeah, no, it's really good. We all have fit in like family. They welcome us, they joke around with us, so it's really good. And they give us tips because of the experience that they have, so it's really comfortable. Congratulations to you two. Congratulations, Marley, player of the match. Mike Mannering from Old Mutual Wealth has a bottle of bubbly for you.
Thank you.
It's a bottle of bubbly, that's what she needs.
Thank you.
Lovely words from both players, and Jess Breach really talking about how great it's been to be around with some of the older players. We saw her in the Dad Jokes VT at half-time. She was talking about the fact she didn't know who Sean Connery was. Well, I don't think we're too bothered about that. She certainly knows where the try line is, and a man who'll be pretty happy with the display from the Red Roses. We heard from him at half-time as well, but we can now hear from Simon Middleton, who's with Bill.
Simon, how pleased are you with that performance?
Yeah, thrilled really. You know, we wanted, we wanted to get some certain things out of the game, and we certainly got them tonight. Particularly our defence. I know when it's easy when you score like nearly 80 points.
Typical coach.
Yeah, but it's a big work on. Coming out of the World Cup was a big work on for us. We weren't good enough in the World Cup, and there's certain things that we've looked at in our defence and gone, we want to be this, we want to be, and we made a good start tonight. We got off the line and we were good on the front foot. We were aggressive in the tackles, and the girls kept going and took a real lot of pride in that defensive performance. So first of all, that was a big thing, and then yeah, some of our attacking play was great, and we did what we said we wanted to do, which was to get the gas on the ball, on the edges. You know, and as I said, when you've got an axis of Katie Daly-McLean and Rachel Burford and Amber Reid in the middle, you're not going to be short of ball on the edge. And they're such unselfish players, and they've got the girls on the ball, but you know, you've got to finish, and they showed what quality they've got, and that pace that, you know, you'd love to be able to claim that you coach that, but you don't. So yeah, it's fantastic. I'm really pleased for them, and right across the board, I think all the girls played well tonight, and everybody who certainly came on and who was on debut did a great job for us. But yeah, really pleased.
A quick word on Jess Breach, because 6 tries on your debut is fantastic. How long has she been on your radar? How long have you known about her?
Oh, I went and watched Jess when I first came into the England job 4 years ago. I went to a divisional day, and Jess was playing there, and it's one of those things you can't help but notice her because of her pace, and she's been on the radar for a while, but she's been in the pathway, and then the under-20s, and it's been a great job that Joey App and her team have done with her, just bringing her through and getting her to the right place at the right time, because all the players mature at different ages from a rugby point of view. And you know, you've seen Ellie Kildun, she's coming tonight, she's pretty much bypassed the whole 20s programme. And
try-on debut for her as well?
Yeah, fantastic, and just unbelievable skills. Some of the things she does, you know, you marvel at, and you know, and then Shauna Brown comes on, who's not been any pathway at all. She's only been playing the game all the time. She's been fantastic as well, but obviously our seniors as well, I thought were great tonight, because you know they work their socks off, put a lot of things probably right in the ends in getting back on the horse after Ireland and playing in the World Cup. So it was really important for them. We went well tonight. but you know, but Canada will be different next time out. They've only had 2 days here, so we're under no illusions, and you know they were ultra competitive to the end, and that's what you get with Canada, and they'll be even more competitive come Tuesday, you know, because they'll be hurting a bit after that. There's no doubt, and every game will get more and more intense, so which is great, which is exactly what we want.
So with the quick turnaround that you do have, how vital was it not only to get the win, but to get a win as convincing as that?
I think first of all it was vital to get the win. I think it was vital after that to do some of the things we talked about doing. So that edge and that confrontation bit we got in our game. There was more confrontation in that game there than we showed in the whole World Cup. And whether that was just a lack of energy left in us or whatever it was, but we set our soul out tonight to get off the line and be aggressive at the tackle area, and we were that. So that was important. Like I said, to get the ball in the right areas of the field was important, and you know, to get 7 players on the field was also important, and we did that. And you know, they've had a little taste of it now. I've just said to Jess, don't get too excited. It's not like that every game. But yeah, they'll enjoy the moment. But the first thing they've said when I got to the circle, I didn't have to say anything because Anne-Marie was speaking. She said that, you know, that's one game of 3, and it's about being better in the next game, and whatever better looks like, we need to be it, because Canada certainly will be.
Congratulations, Simon. Well done.
Thanks very much indeed. Cheers. Cheers, mate.
Rocky Clark there, catching up with a few friends and family, no doubt. Got a wedding on the cards in a few weeks. A comprehensive performance then, and Simon Middleton pretty happy with it. But, well, as he says, Emily Scarrett, Amber Reid in the circle at the end, making no bones about the fact that it was a great showing, but for them, their standards, they want to see a better one on Tuesday.
Yeah, 100%. You know, any England side always sets extremely high standards for themselves, and, you know, the experienced players like Amber, like Katie, like Tamara, all of those guys, they know that this is a stepping stone. It's, you know, but there's by no means they've not won the World Cup in 4 years' time. They've not won the Six Nations after Christmas. You know, they appreciate what this game means, and what a fantastic performance it was. But you know, it is a stepping stone. It's about building. It's about going forward. And you know, as Simon said, Canada will 100% be better come Tuesday evening.
And it's interesting hearing Simon Middleton, Natasha Hunt talking about the seniors. It's not as if, you know, this is the full senior side, but within the side now there seems to be, you know, as Bill mentioned as well in those interviews, the senior players, such as perhaps your respected selves, and then some of these younger players through, the likes of, you know, perhaps Katie Matteson, who's no doubt snapping away at your heels.
Oh, it's amazing to see. I think, to be fair, all of the debutants were fantastic, but for me, the 5-back debutants were absolutely phenomenal tonight. I think 4 of them have got on the scoreboard, but for me, as you mentioned her, Katie Matteson, fantastic. The sharpness of her pass was absolutely imperative for me. Like, she got the ball out in front of Zoe Harrison, which allowed her to play the quick game that she likes to play. Zoe Harrison's used to running on this pitch, and you just saw her run the show, but for me, that's come from the speed of service from Katie Matteson. So fantastic to see all 5 of them get a brilliant debut.
So 3 debutants scoring, as you say. There's Kildun, Breach getting 6. Yes, 6 tries. Abby Dow and the likes of Amy Cockayne, Rochelle Clark, some more of the experienced players, Rachel Burford getting on the scoreboard as well. So, well, to wrap up the coverage, let's have a look at some of the tries, some of the highlights certainly from that second half that you may have missed if you're just joining us late on here at Allianz Park. And, well, Emily Scarrett, this was the blinder from Breach to get the second half underway.
Yeah, it's such a well-taken try. You know, we spoke perhaps, or Mo spoke perhaps about the naivety at the scrum from the back row players and potentially the 10 a fraction wide, but I tell you what, when the space in front of you, you take it, and Jess Breach certainly did that.
And then Amy Cockayne doing the up-front stuff. Little pirouette from her, and she's over. And that was, well, England building up the scores. That was try 7, and then Shauna Brown with the carry, who was on for the second half, popping the ball up. Amber Reid then finds Breach, and this was a great finish.
Yeah, it was brilliant. The presence of mind of Brown to keep that ball alive, and then Abby Scott, rather than carry, to just move it straight away is fantastic. And Breach again, in and out, flirting with the touchline as she did all game. Fantastic score.
And at this point, I think the forwards had enough of seeing wingers running in the 5-metre channel and fancied one of their own. And, you know, we've spoken about it. England have a fantastic driving maul, and they've showed it once again there.
Yeah, Marley Backer at the bottom of that one. But Canada did get themselves on the score sheet. Cindy Nels had, well, had a decent game, the big number 8.
It's great resilience from Canada. You know, the scoreboard was hugely in England's favour, but that will mean so much for them going forward in the rest of this tour into Tuesday's game, knowing that they got on the scoreboard, knowing that they scored a try against England.
Abby Dow picking up nicely from the loose ball, getting her second of the game. That was the 10th try for England at that stage. Getting up to the 60-point mark with Amber Reid's conversion, and the changes were made. Zoe Harrison with the crossfield kick, and Jess Breach profiting for her 6th score of the game.
Yeah, I think as I watched this live, it was a really good read from the Canadian defence. They drop off as soon as they see Zoe Harrison shape with the ball, but fantastic finish. What a great take from Jess Breach, and brilliant.
Rocky Clark gets over for one, and then Ellie Kildun, get the pronunciation right eventually, finishes things off on the inside ball. I mean, as far as England are concerned, Emily, what would be the work-ons? What are the things that you think that they could talk about improving ahead of Tuesday's performance?
I think all game we saw some fantastic offloading, we saw some fantastic continuity from the side, but you know, on the flip side of that, they also lost a decent amount of ball at the breakdown, knock-ons. It's not sloppy, but it's just the mistakes that are naturally
how they can relieve a little bit of pressure with their kicking game. I know Emily mentioned that potentially if the long kick isn't working, then can you go cross field? Can you just challenge England in that area, little chips? So I think we potentially will see a little bit more of that on Tuesday.
Well, don't forget you can get down on Tuesday. Did you want to just come in?
I was just going to say, for me as well, it's for Canada have got to work out a way of getting the ball wide. So a lot of the time they got it into the 13 channel, the space is still on the edge, but they just couldn't quite get it there. So they've got to fix up the middle, find a way of releasing it out to those fast wingers.
And it is a quick schedule of games, of course, replicating that World Cup schedule. It's Tuesday at the Twickenham Stoop. If you want to be there, well, you can. englandrugby.com/tickets to get yourself down and support the Red Roses in their second match of the Old Mutual Wealth Series against Canada. It's a 3-match series. That final game at Twickenham against Samoa, of course. Sorry, against Samoa. After the Samoa game, they will be taking on Canada. There's the rundown of games. 7:45 on Tuesday at the Twickenham Stoop, and then 5:40 on Saturday after the men have played at Twickenham. I always have the best seat in the house watching these games, and well, I've had an even better one this week with Emily Scarrett and Tasha Hunt alongside me. Thanks very much, ladies, for your time and your analysis. Those are the rest of the games coming up live on the England Rugby Facebook page and on englandrugby.com. But for now, from all of us here at Allianz Park, well, England breached the Canadian defence. Nearly there, nearly there. It was so close, wasn't it? Anyway, it was a night for dad gag, so I thought I'd finish on one. But yeah, a sensational performance from England, and we look forward to more come Tuesday. From all of us here, it's a very good evening.